And welcome to the first edition. You heard that correctly. The very first XWF podcast. My name is Chris Pate. Joining me today, I've got two people on the line. One, former Universal Champion, former Heart Champion, former Tag Team Champion, the one and only Bobby Bourbon. Bob, what's going on, man?
Not much, not much. Excited to be here, and I think this will be a lot of fun. I look forward to doing this and future renditions and contributing something finally to the Fed.
It's about fucking time, man. What's going on with all that? It only
Wow.
took you what, like 20 years?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, next on the line, two-time television champion. Listen, this guy's one of my favorite reads, and I'm not just saying that because he's on the line. And I am proud to say that I'm the only man that will ever put over the single foot DDT as a finish. Thunder Knuckles, welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and thank you for putting over that move.
You know, that was your call. You remember?
Yeah, that's
When you
true.
finish and you're like, Thunderstrike. So I go to your bio. What's the Thunderstrike? It's a motherfucking single foot DDT.
And it's beautiful.
Sold. Let's do it. We got a lot that we're gonna try and get off the ground here. This is our first shot at this. To see, how it's gonna transition. Is it something that you guys are gonna be interested in, girls as well? We've got a lot of interest thus far, and we're gonna give it our best shot. First of all, before we even get started, Bob,
Yeah.
dude, is it or is it not true that you're not the smartest man alive?
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. I got my GED and everything.
First try?
Third.
Then you're hired, bro. You're hired.
Sweet.
Everybody, y'all having a good week? Like before we get into like the meat and potatoes of Snow Job and what a good show that this is gonna be. It's a loaded lineup from top to bottom. I think the Vinny did a wonderful job putting this together. How's everything going with you guys? Like your week's all right? Everything's kind of cruising.
Yeah, yeah. My week's been pretty good. Today is technically my Friday. I go into work a little bit later, but that's not good nor there. Work's been smooth. Otherwise, been enjoying my time writing on the boards, reading, and relaxing. The three R's.
There you go. TK.
Well, it's my day off, so I'm having a great day.
Yeah,
Week,
oh,
uh,
so
week, work, do it.
the one day that you get off a week.
Yep.
Listen, they slave drive this motherfucker, and I'm gonna have a talk to your boss. I have a
I
feeling.
I should uh I should have a talk with him too.
I don't think he's a hard man. Sorry. Um, First of all, yeah. Second of all, third of all, listen. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this now. I'm from the backwoods of Alabama. You're gonna hear Southern twang. It's gonna come out. I'm gonna sound weird and crazy when I hear myself back on this. So in advance, yes, it is a Southern drawl. Yes, you're gonna hear some words that you probably have never heard before. There is a redneck dictionary. Go pick it up. You will learn. Go. We, we would be remiss if we didn't discuss how 2020 closed out. High stakes, the arrival of Thaddeus Duke into the limelight, taking two titles in the same night, back to back matches with team with Doc to take down Rob and I to winning that high stakes battle royal. Nobody ended 2020 with more momentum than Thaddeus Duke.
And
Am I right or wrong?
yeah, you're pretty much right. I mean, he walked away with 2 world titles in one night. Who's done that?
Not many. Not many. Yeah, Thad is. He's been putting in the work. He's been putting in the man hours, and more power to him. He had a great night at high stakes, and again, always a good read. Generally, very convivial person to talk with. Behind the scenes. And, it's good to see it happen, and congratulations to him.
So we take that and we parlay 2020. 2020 was a shitty year, for the world. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Ended on that positive note, like in character wise and XWF universe wise. you get that defining moment, and you roll into the new year, and you are now headlining the first major pay per view of 2021 at Lambeau Field. And if we're, in the fantasy world, 90,000 people would be in that stadium for this show, if it was like a legitimate thing. So if you guys are like the Thaddeus character in an in character standpoint, how are you feeling knowing that you've just ended 2020 on a phenomenal front and you are the focal point for the first pay-per-view of the new year to start the XWF's uh forward motion for what's to come?
Well, I would actually feel a little bit of pressure, because that's some kind of responsibility, especially when you're in that universal title seat. Challenging for the uni title, that's a wonderful thing to do. Holding on to it, there's a lot of, you got to drive a lot of story. And, being front forward and making sure that people are engaged in what you're doing. Otherwise, and I can speak from experience, you kind of become a lame duck. And people get a little frustrated with you for not driving the story or being in that driver's seat and presenting stories that people want to be engaged with.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Thunder Knuckles, what's your take?
Oh, I'd be riding high. Wouldn't be giving up at that point. It's not the time for
No.
that. This is his first pay-per-view defense. He's gotta slap some Chris Page around.
Yeah, that's yet to be seen. We're going into it, man. Lambeau Field, first match on the card, 6-on-6 football blitz massacre. I'm assuming this is sort of our version of a stadium stampede. Or is that what the AEW did not too long ago?
Yeah, they did the Stadium Stampede.
Yeah, okay. So we've got that. Now, this is under Savage rules. Now, I don't know if everyone's familiar with the role play structure of the XWF. There are 3 different tiers, and we'll cover those as we go. This is a Savage rules role play, which means I believe you've got 2 role plays at 3,000 words. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're looking at 2 role plays at 3,000 words apiece. 6-on-6. The teams are, we were talking about this off air, like for the teams being what they are, like the teams are stacked to a degree. You have Finn Kun, I'm gonna mispronounce that, on one side with Griffin McAllister, Jim Jemison, and I definitely think this is everyone's eyes on character. Morbid Angels back in the mix. Ash Quinn and Mandy Ryder. They're going to take on Claude Savage, Savannah Knightley. As your Azrael, not even going to try your last name.
I got this one.
We got Miss. Go ahead.
Osira Themis.
Here we go. Bob's own Broken Oswald, and Tommy Gunn. So, two decently booked teams here in my eyes. What do you guys think? How do you think this is going to play for the opening match of the first pay per view of 2021?
Well, flat out, I'm really going for the first team. And it's because Morbid Angel's back. To me, that's just huge. Like me and Morbid have history. There's a lot of details to it. Not much I'm ready to discuss right now, but it's really, really, really good to see Morbid back. Like it warms my heart. Like I know that sounds really silly. It sounds very Hallmark, but it warms my heart to see that Morbid Angel is back and he's role playing, and it looks like he's having a good time. The other reason that I'm rooting for the first team, flat out, my personal favorite read in the XWF, which sounds ridiculous, is Jim Jimson. He's it hits me. Like he's just absolutely hilarious. Like he is a great comedy character. Like every time I read a Jimson RP, I wind up laughing. So
Right.
I'm excited for everybody else on the other side too. Not to tear anybody down. I know one of our fellow Bobbies, Ozzy's over there, and Tommy Gunn. He's always really solid too. So is Osira. But just seeing Morbid back, I'm really hoping for him, and I'm really hoping that Jim actually posts something so that way I can have a good laugh.
What about you, TK? What is your take? How do you size this one up?
Well, uh, I'm a Jimson Mark. I really am. Morbid Angel. I know he was a former uni champion. Really only read him as of the other day. Seems really good. I would. Yeah.
I think when it comes down to with me, we know obviously as we've recorded this, our soft deadline is passed. There are some folks that have not shown up for this as of yet. I think though, I mean, even eliminating those potential characters if they don't get anything posted, um, my eyes first went to Morbid Angel. I've never worked with him. I've heard about him. I've never had the opportunity to do anything with him. And I saw with him back in the mix, and I actually, much like you, TK, I just read his first role play, and that's my first exposure to him.
Yeah.
I only know him by name value. Uh, Someone that in this match on Team One that I also have a little soft spot for is the Ash Quinn character. I think that there's a lot that she can do and do it in a way. Uh, I don't want to sound like a dick or a douchebag. I think that there's more that she can do to elevate herself as a character, and there's like a little bit of untapped potential there if she sits down and gets it done. On the flip side, uh, pronounce her name for me again, please.
Oh,
Osira.
Osira.
I've read Osira's work. I'm a fan of hers. Um, I just kind of got into Oswald here lately, and I've been into Tommy Gunn when Tommy Gunn posted stuff. At the end of the day, you've got what could be, depending on how it's written, could be a amazing brawl with, in my eyes, a shitload of comedy involved in it, and it come off looking flawless. Am I the only one that sees that?
Oh, no, I wholeheartedly agree. I think that the match writer they have carte blanche to do so much because they can go anywhere in that stadium. They can do so much things that they can really think outside the box and they can color outside the lines. And in this case, that's brilliant. And with the people that you have in that match, go for it. Sky's the limit.
All or nothing is what I'm thinking, and go hats off to whoever takes that on because that's definitely a lot can be done there.
Oh yeah.
The next match that we've got on the card, one that when I saw the challenge go out, I saw the challenge answered, I was like, okay, cool. Holy Roman Warhorse taking on Centurion. Centurion, someone that I go way back with this man, and he helped me in the WGWF and was actually a host of the WGWF podcast for like 2 years. So we'll definitely have you on, Disler, and when we do, it's going to be a win. We already know. I'm interested in your guys' take. Like, I'm not really familiar with the Holy Roman Warhorse character. I know that he's been around. I'm more familiar with Centurion, obviously. This is also under Savage Rules, which is 2 role plays at 1,000 or at 3,000 words. The interesting fun fact about this match, Theo, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but Lambeau Field doesn't have a rooftop, brother. So this one's going on the rooftop of the parking deck. What are your takes on this, guys? Like, let's hear it. I mean, clear. I hope I'm not the only one that pulled up Lambeau Field and saw this shit.
Well,
I was looking at Limbo Field. There is that ring-shaped structure that goes over the bleachers, and I suppose they could fight around that. But there are some roof spots. But unless you could write the match paying an homage to the stadium itself, and it's kind of like the first match where the stadium and the venue itself is one of the characters, and it is living and it's breathing, and the way that the people in the match are interacting with it matters. Um, as for the competitors involved, yeah, I know Senti well, not well, super well. I Facebook with them. I didn't realize I was Facebookies with them until like a couple weeks ago, and we've been Facebookies for like months. And I was just unawares, but he's a solid writer. I'd like to see, an RP from one of these guys, like Holy Roman Warhorse. I dig the name; that's a cool sounding name. But yeah, there's not much material out there right yet as of South Deadline. But yeah, I mean, it has a lot of potential. Like again, the match could be really cool, but unless this wound up being angled completely, I don't know. I have trepidations just because there's no material out yet on the RP boards.
Which makes sense. I see where you're coming from on that. 100%. Match wise, there's definitely a lot that can be done. TK, if you had a match spot for this, what would it be?
Oh
What
man,
would you like to see if you had one spot that you could write into a match like this? What would it be?
the rooftop match at Lambeau Field.
Yep.
Oh, you're
Yep.
skydiving in.
Yep.
You're skydiving in, landing on the little lip area around the circle that Robbie called out for sure.
I think that there's a lot that can be done there. And we'll see. Like, it's one of those situations where hopefully we get some material, like Robbie said, and I know we probably will, and it'll probably be one, and that's cool too. And at least it'll give us a base, an opinion off of. But the match itself has a lot of potential. There's definitely something there that could be fun, it could be interesting, and it can like build. Like the matches 1 and 2 could build off of each other depending on how they're written, and could almost flow seamlessly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Match 3 on the card. XWF World Titles on the line. Big D is going to be defending against John Black, Tommy Wish, triple threat match. Anarchy rules. This would be a one role play, 1,000 words. One apiece. I'm not sure if any of it's posted just yet. I will tell you this, as a former world champion, it's great to see the title back in the mix. I want to see what Big D's going to do with it. Thus far, the storyline that he's developing it has a lot of potential to turn into something really worth watching and paying attention to if more people will jump on board. That being said, third match on the card, world title, Tommy, John Black, Big D, TK. What do you got? What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are Big D's doing work with this title. He is. He's putting in the work. Let's see what happens with it. I am interested to see what happens with the world title.
Bobby.
Well, it's the world title. I guess it's good to see come back. I remember there was a time we had an Intercontinental title here in the XWF, and then eventually at one point, I guess the roster was too small to handle that many championships. Bringing another one back now, if we have the roster and we have the slots there and we have the competition for it, by all means.
Well, my question would be, where would we go next? Like where would the national story? Who would step up and challenge for the world title? Like where? Go ahead.
That's a good question. I mean, you have three competitors right here who they're consistent. When they're booked, they show up. They write and they give us the material that we asked for. They're not going to write about Bella, and that's okay. They're doing Anarchy rules. If we keep it as an Anarchy championship, cool. If it's like an Anarchy rules championship that flows between brands, that's cool. Um, I have all the respect in the world for all three competitors, like in and out of character. Contrary to popular belief, I do like Big D. Um, but who challenges next? Just looking at the lineup of this card itself, I could see there's a lot of names on the roster that could challenge for the world championship. I could see if somebody doesn't win the heart, they might have a shot at the world championship. If somebody doesn't win the TV title, they can get a shot at the world championship. It's something to fight over. It's I don't want to say title just prize. In like real pro wrestling, they probably are more so than here. Here, we actually do have to compete for them. And it looks like the guys, again, they haven't posted anything by Softline, but they only posted one role play, and that's cool. If as long as they're willing to compete for it, that's fine. Is it a title I myself am going to try to go out of my way to get? Probably not. And that's no slight against the title holders right now. It just seems like a lower mid card championship, maybe like the European title back in the Attitude Era WWE. Um, it's just it's not the headliner. Good headline. Like, don't get me wrong, but it adds some spice and some intrigue to lower card matches, and I really appreciate that.
Well, I think here's what's going to sell me on it 100% is the storytelling that's behind it. And what I have heard, and I have not worked with Big D personally, I have heard that he's a storytelling guy. I'm a storytelling guy. We all know this. Yeah, me personally, I don't find somebody that I can write against for a month. I find somebody I can write against for like 4 or 5 months. Let's tell a story. Let's do something. So if that's the perception and that's the direction, then I'm all for it. Because I could see the stories being told to especially develop some of the quote unquote lower to mid card to upper mid card guys. Like I could see that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I'm on board with that.
That being said, I could definitely see Thunder Knuckles stepping up and taking that world title.
We could see that. We could see that.
Challenge issued. You heard it here first. No, I'm just playing. Next match, we've got the championship. Listen, everything else is a title match. There's XWF has more goddamn championships than I know what to do with. The next match on the card is for the Internet Championship. Bobby London is going to challenge Miss Fury. Anarchy Rules, again, one role play, 1,000 words. So to say that, and I'd have to go back and look at the boards to see if either one of them role played yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't. If they have, great. You get one shot at it. So make it your best. There's the Internet Championship is another championship that I'm not too familiar with. So I want to defer to Mr. Bourbon because you've been around way longer than I have, and you may know more about this than I do.
To be perfectly candid, I know very little about the Internet Championship. I was under the impression that it was an angled championship for a while, so I'm not sure. TK, you have any more insight?
I think it's an angled championship belt.
Okay. So storytelling. It's all about.
Yep,
It's
it's all about storytelling.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm on board with it because that's character development. And this it's exclusive to Anarchy. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, exclusive to Anarchy.
Gotcha. What's
I
that?
will say this about the Internet Championship. The exciting part about it, and to a lesser degree, if the World Championship is also going to be handled like this, that if it is an angled championship, having that hybrid, like being a Fed where we do have opportunities for angle Fed workers and angle Fed writers to come in and shine, and play the game they want to, which is slightly different than RP based, then awesome. That's one of the greatest things about the XWF is that we have something for everybody. And we're doing angled storylines and angled championships. Awesome. More power to it. Is it something that I shine at or I'm going to delve into immediately? No. I tried that, been there, done that. I suck at it. So, but to those who can, more power to them. And again, I look forward to reading any and all role plays like related to the story. And I look forward to reading the match. I think that the match itself could be a lot of fun. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a highlight of the card. You know, I think there's no lowlights on this card. I can definitely not stress that enough.
No, it's like it seems like with the way this specific card's put together, it seems like every match is kind of like building and building and building. It's this card's put together flawlessly. I love that, and I can get behind the story if that's an angle if it's an angled belt, which it very well could be. Then that yeah I agree wholeheartedly with what you just said. That there is something for everybody. Which is great because I never did anything like that before, and I should have thought about it because we could have told really good stories and based something around a championship like this. Miss Fury coming in as champion. Um, how long has Miss Fury held the internet championship?
Well, for as long as she's existed.
Uh,
Not really. She Michael Graves won the championship
yeah,
from Big D
yeah.
and had a thing for Bobby London because of a nip slip. And now that Graves is gone, Fury is here with the Internet Championship. So that's where we lie with the Internet Championship.
Well, we'll see what Miss London and Miss Fury bring to the table this upcoming week, and hope they do their part and tell the story they need to tell, and we get the outcome that we need to get out of it. Rolling into match number 5, I'll go on record and say this is one of my sleeper matches of the night, just because of the people involved. The Anarchy Championship: Kenzie Gray, Miss Fury, Ruby, and Tula. Chila's defending. 4 corners, 1 fall, 2 a finish. Anarchy rules, 1 role play, 1,000 words. This is the epitome of a pick'em, if there ever was one. What are you?
I'm actually, I don't want to show my bias here, so I won't. I'm actually going to have to go with Ruby on this one. Ruby shines, like just absolutely shines. She's one of the best writers that I'm a huge fan of reading her work. No offense to Graves or Miss Fury. I know you're a Bobby, but yeah, Ruby's giving me a run for my money on Anarchy. So again, and Tula, like kudos to everybody in this match, but I just
Well,
I
all
love
four, all 4 are former Anarchy champions. I mean, this is, when you think this is the epitome of a champion showcase, if there ever was one for the Anarchy brand. I personally, when I saw this match booked, I personally sent Vinny a message and was like, I want to write that. Like that, I can do a lot with that, and I will. That's definitely one that I'll be handling for the pay per view. Just because of the people that are involved in it. I have so much respect for the handler of Tula. Ruby, I've always liked Ruby's work, but I fell in love with Ruby when she teamed with Sent to take on myself and Robert back last year. Because she's not only did she step out of that 1,000-word like cap, she fucking I could not be more happier to have had an opportunity to write against somebody because she brought so much shit to the table that it had Rob and I sweating, and we didn't sweat. So, and then you got Kenzie in the mix, and Miss Fury's in the mix. Like, this is that. We're going to roll around into predictions, and I'm going to have to really think about that one. Because that's going to be.
This is definitely my favorite match of the entire card. Universal title match too. Who's not excited for that?
No, we're talking strict. This is as far as the quote unquote, and this is in no disrespect how the card's laid out, but as far as an undercard is concerned, my personal opinion, this Anarchy title match needs to be higher up on the card. I think that they can deliver. All four of them can deliver at so many different levels that there's just a lot. I have a lot in my mind for that match.
I
And it's gonna
totally
be
agree with that statement.
it's gonna be
This is. I'm gonna go on record saying this. This is gonna be the show stealer. Period. This is gonna be the one where, all the other matches, like we all like reading our own matches. We all like checking out what's happening with the big titles and stuff like that. But this Anarchy Championship match, this is gonna elevate the Anarchy Championship.
I
This
fully
is.
agree. I don't think anybody said it better than that right there. Period. Like I really don't. Like, you hit the nail on the head.
Thank you.
They're gonna Are you in character right now? Are you eating?
Yes, I am having dinner.
Gotcha. Moving from the Anarchy Championship. We're going into the Shooting Star Championship. Jenny Miss, former champion, taking on Betsy Granger, taking on Jerry Vaden. Savage rules, 2 role plays, 3,000 words, and this is just a standard triple threat, 1 fall. This here, in my opinion, is another sleeper, and I'm going to tell you why. In my opinion, I have to give credit to Jenny Mist as far as taking a concept and making a solid story out of it. With her involvement in the Shooting Star Championship over the last 3 or 4 months, it seemed like that was the only championship that had a solid story that was building behind it. I could be wrong, but the work that was put in with Jenny and Ash and Jerry, that whole storyline towards the tail end of last year, I thought was really good. With how it developed and how it came across, and then you had the title change. I think this is another sleeper of the night, based off of the people that are involved. So, TK, first of all, what are your thoughts on the Shooting Star division? Let's
Well,
start with that.
well, I think the Shooting Star division, it's good. First champion, Atara, right? And then Jenny Mist, and then Jerry now. It's progressed from, beginning to now. I like it. I like the Shooting Star division.
What are your thoughts on that? Go ahead.
Well, if I may, before I make an opinion, just for clarity's sake, can we describe the Shooting Star division itself?
I think
for the
it's
listeners at home.
I believe it's the female division.
Gotcha,
So the
gotcha.
XWF's version of a females division.
Okay. Well, I'm all for that, and that's awesome. Again, just keeping it this variety show of something for everyone. And I agree. This is another just sleeper hit that's going to elevate this division en masse. Now, yeah.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Okay. As for predicting the match itself, I do have a little bit of bias. I think that the storytelling and the driving that the Miss Handler has been doing is phenomenal. I think that Jerry is an amazing role player herself. But out of character, I do have a crush on Granger on Twitter. I did ask her to crash a prom with me. So I am going to pick Granger. So that way, when I give her the corsage, we crash a prom somewhere.
First of
it'll be a
all,
little bit smoother.
I have to step on you now because Betsy's laughing her ass off out of character. That is, she calls me her husband. I call her my wife. we're not married, but we are very close. We're very close friends. I know her. She is a sweetheart. Uh, going back and to step on you, I have to say you're not taking her to a fucking prom. That's over my dead body. Heather, you're welcome. Uh, that being said, going back to the division itself, yes, it does have a solid story behind it. I do think that all three of these involved are it's another one of those that's a pick 'em. It's going to really depend on who puts in the work. And when we get to predictions, I'll make my bold prediction on who I think is going to win that title. I just want to throw out the props that, you know, Bobby, you said that this match is going to do a lot for the division. Yes, 100%. Now that there's a quote unquote females championship into the mix, we've had like the intergender bookings, we have them all the time. But now, if you want to, you have a opportunity to carry a division, the female division, and that's where we're at. It is like it's evolving, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, we used to have something that was the Bombshells title, but that kind of just faded into obscurity because, again, something happened within the Fed where we just didn't have the roster to support it. And now, again, the roster is getting not just solidified. Well, yeah, it's getting solidified, but it's also expanding, which
Yes.
is great, and having more opportunities for more role players. And again, just having that. I don't want to like. It's kind of like a candy shop. Any flavor you want, you come in here, we can offer it to you. But yeah, I really do have high hopes for this match, and yeah, I do
Excuse me, guys.
I do look forward to actually writing a storyline where, maybe Bobby Bourbon dresses in drag and then demands to compete for the Shooting Star champion. I think that could be fun, like where it's almost like the Santino
Well,
Umbrella story.
yes, and what's fucking crazy is I didn't share this with you, but when we were going over the this and just talking about a segment, that was the first thing that popped in my head was who could we get in character or in character to dress up in drag and challenge for it. And you just came out and said something about it. Like that would be there's while it would be funny, let's like yes it would be, but it could also be so much more than comedy if something
Oh
like that
yeah.
was to happen. And the opportunity is there. Like it could theoretically happen. It just depends on who jumps on it. I think that would be fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many. We can do a lot with that. Like again, we have Bourbon show up in drag saying he wants to challenge for the Shooting Star. Then somebody that Bourbon's feuding with at the time comes out and like calls him out on this nonsense, and then the actual Shooting Star champion comes out, backs him up, and then the challenger to the Shooting Star championship comes out, and bam, we have an intergender tag match. That's just one way to go with it. But there's a lot that's what's cool about this. Like there's a lot we can play with this, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what it does in the future. I'm not necessarily saying that I'm going to do this storyline, but
We're just using you as
slowly,
an example because it could happen. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Yeah, I get it. I get it 100%.
I think TK has some claim on the Shooting Star Championship. He did just beat the Shooting Star champion on Savage.
I mean, yeah. Give me my title match. Karen Hunt, Karen
Where's
Hunt
that
needs
wig
to do-
at? Where's that wig at?
Karen Hunt needs to do her job. She needs to do her job. Speaking of Savage, like match 7 on the card, there's only one person who can introduce this, and I'm going to defer this to TK.
All right, television title match. Barney Green, Charlie Nichols. 15-minute time limit under Savage rules. That's 3,000 word limit. And it's a Nickelodeon nightmare match. It's actually going to be filmed at the Mall of America because Vinnie Lane spares no expense, right?
Yeah, I mean, he does sign all of our checks, wink,
Right?
wink.
It sounds pretty wild, though. There's 3 ways to win: pinfall, submission, and death. Yeah.
So
And
here's my question.
all the rides are going to be on at the Mall of America. So, the Daddy of Violence, has a lot to play with against Charlie Nichols.
Here's my question, and this is I'm gonna pose this like as serious as I can. Is this gonna be a live match? Because didn't we just film TV at the Mall of America? I could have swore that Paige was there,
Right.
watching Big Barn take Thad to the limit. I could have swore that happened.
Yep.
So is this a
Maybe Barney challenged for 2 titles in one night, and it was just a dark match.
I mean, now I'm just saying, did Vinny really spend the money? Did he really spend those
You're right.
cents? Or did he? Or did we pull? Did we pull an old fast one on the professional wrestling? I mean, that being said, listen, I really think of the people on this call, on this podcast, like TK, 2-time television champion, like and when I first, I'm gonna show you some man love. When I first fell in love with the TK character, it was when you had your 3-month run with the TV title.
Yeah.
Because you were doing so much, and you were placating to the rules within the division itself. Like you were going time limit draws.
Yep.
You were for things that you were doing. And myself included. I defended the title twice, and I used the TV time limit to my advantage, and went to a draw, made somebody work 15 minutes, and got paid for it.
Yep, and got paid for it.
This I will not advocate enough for Big Barn. If there is not a single person that defines the word national treasure, that's Barney Green. And I don't care what you guys say. Fight me. Like I am so rooting for Barney to do this because he's just an all around good fucking guy. Like I felt bad having to trash talk Barney a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago when he and I squared off one on one. Like I did not want to post that role play because I can't do it. I just love that guy. I don't know what it is. Is it a me thing? Like do I just have a man crush on Barney Green, or does anyone else feel the same way?
I totally have a man crush on Barney Green. I'm not ashamed to say it. If Granger's not allowed to go to prom with me, I'm asking Barney. He is absolutely, I love the guy to death. We talk a lot of OC. He is he's great. There's nobody finer. There's nobody. And I kind of feel a little guilty because I did drag him back in because when I was asked, like, hey, I wasn't asked if I asked to join Bob. I'm like, sure. And I was like, okay, one proviso. I want Barney Green coming too. And there's a reason for that. It's because Barney is just such an awesome, awesome person. Now, in terms of the match, it's going to be a close one to call. I'm going to defer calling this one because I also kind of like Nichols. He seems pretty solid. He likes writing what he writes. And so does Barney. And both of them have their strengths. I can't really call the match itself. I'm definitely rooting for Barney Green, though. I can't think of anybody who wouldn't be besides Charlie Nichols.
They're going to get my predictions at the end.
Yeah, no, I'm predicting everything at the end as well. This one, I mean, you can't root against Barn. You just can't do it. Now, Charlie, listen, I started following Charlie Nichols when he first came into the Fed and blew up into the Universal title scene at his first major pay-per-view against Lachlan. In his rise, he's done the same, not the same thing, but he has ascended. Like he did the featherweight thing, and I think he's still one of those champions, unless he recently got beat, or the heavy metal weight. I can never keep him straight. He took that and he ran with it. Then he got into the position of the TV title. He's got that. He's running with it. He's got a shot at the tag titles with Jim Jemison at some point. Like that's happening. Like he's making some noise. Now the question is going to become is can Barney, pull it together for one last, hurrah, one big last run. I'll tell you personally, outside of my feud with Robert and my current feud with Thad, that tag match I had with Barney was the most fun in 2 weeks of writing I ever had. We collaborated on both of the role play, or all 4 of the role plays, from beginning to end. We had a concept, and we delivered. I thought, and that was a personal, closing of the book because back in the day, way back in the day, as Tristan Slater, like I did like a real shitty thing in character and realized it was shitty when I did it. Or not too long after I did it, I realized it was probably not the right thing to do. And that was the way to make it right. And he is just amazing. He's absolutely amazing. Love the guy, man. He's got a hard task to beat with Charlie Nichols, though. And there's no denying that. And he's got 15 minutes to work with. He's got to get it done quick.
Yep, he's only got the 15 minutes to get it done. Barney's got to power through.
I think Barney could. I think the thing about Barney is like his heart.
Now here's my question I pose to you guys, because we know that Barney's the Mac Daddy of violence or the Big Daddy of violence. Do you think that this stipulation of it being in the Mall of America, which you have everything at your disposal, do you think that may play against Charlie? His own
No.
stipulation?
No, I don't believe so, because he's a hardcore guy himself. So this is really the battle of 2 hardcore dudes.
You laid them out to where the handcuffs are off. It's that at this point it's going to be who's the baddest of the baddest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and it's another instance where the venue itself is one of the characters in the match. You got Charlie, you got Barney, and then you have the mall. And what is the mall itself going to be contributing to the match? And that's something to look forward to.
Moving right along, though, I mean, we deferred the last one to what I think of my era, since I've been in the mix, as the best TV champion of Thunder Knuckles. Let's move over to the hard title.
Whoa. That's Noah Jackson, and I won't have anything else said.
I was barely around when Noah Jackson was champion, hence why I said, since I've been around. Actually, I was around, but I think he did better than Noah.
Oh.
Kill me if you want to. I think character-wise, but there again, there lies. Let me backtrack, or let me not shit on Noah, because that's not the case. I wasn't on Savage at that point. I was dealing with Rob and tag stuff, and we were doing Warfare. So let me rephrase. When I was paying attention and booked on Savage, you were the man.
Fair enough.
So let's do that. Then we'll happy medium that. And you were the man while I was on Savage. So yes, Noah Jackson definitely has his spot. Moving forward, like I said, we go into let's defer this one to, again, modern era. Since I've been in the mix, there's only been a couple of hard champions that stick out. Centurion was one. This man's the other. Bobby, let's put this preview of this hard championship match.
All right, here is my heart. The Hard Championship match. We see R.L. Edgar versus Felix Jones versus Sean Wilde versus Ned Cage. It's going to be a glass cage match, which, again, very near and dear to my heart. I love those crazy, wild, almost unreal kind of cage matches that we can have here in the XWF. And it's going to be Warfare rules. So these guys get to lay it all out there on the line. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Again, just the Hard Championship it's really special to me. The Hard Championship, it's up there with the Universal Championship. I think I mentioned earlier, the Uni, you have a lot of dedication and driving towards making a story happen for the entire Fed. The Hard Championship, people let the talent, not necessarily the time, maybe. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Before I make any opinions, though, Chris, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, let's put everything in proper perspective. Like the Hart Championship is the flagship championship for Monday nights. The TV title is the flagship championship for Saturday nights. I think that they're both of them are equally as important. With this one in particular, Ned's been on a fucking roll. Like over the last 6-7 weeks. He's successfully retained his title. Well, he won the title. He successfully retained.
The question is, who did he beat? Right? He beat Robbie Bourbon for that title.
Yeah. Yep.
Then he
Bobby
defended
Bourbon,
against
thank
TK. Oh, Bobby Bourbon. You're right. And then
Yeah.
defended
I went
against
up and down,
TK.
but
Yeah, defeated Bourbon, who it was a great heart champion, right here with us. Defeated you, TK, for a successful defense. Now he's walking into, and he beat, I think at the time, Kenzie. Was Kenzie not the Anarchy champion? This was, I want to say back before Christmas. Um,
Yes, he did.
he,
I
he
think
knocked
so.
off Kenzie for the. I mean, it wasn't for the title, but it was. I mean, so he's developed quite the resume over the last 6-7 weeks. Um, I mean, no bones about it. I love the Sean Wild character. I've even reached out to him privately and just kind of like, dude, I'm all about it. Like, keep going. I think that Felix Jones is always a threat whenever he's in the mix. If he's dedicated to what he's doing, I think that I mean, he at one time was a longer term extreme champion, and based off the structure of the XWF, that's the number 2 guy. So he's there. R.L. Edgar is someone that I just started reading. I know that this particular person has handled a couple other characters that was brought to my attention, so I know I'm familiar with the work, but it's the first time that I'm following the character. I think that as far as Monday nights are concerned, that any one of these guys that walks out would be a firm representative of the Monday Night Warfare show. Personally, I think that as far as championships are
Isn't it
concerned,
Wednesday night? I think you're saying Monday night. It's Wednesday night.
Wednesday, sorry.
There you go. You're thinking
When
about Raw. Oh my.
I don't even
Just
watch
cause it's
that
red.
shit.
It's just cause it's
I don't
red.
even. Yeah, because I was looking at Ned's name. And why is Ned's last name not capitalized? Why is the first letter not capitalized and everybody else's is? Ned, they're throwing hate at you, bro. Going back to it, man, I think that either one of these guys could walk away, and whoever does is going to earn it because again, it's warfare rules. You have the room to play with. So who wants it more? I think that's what this one's going to come down to.
I definitely have to agree with that. Again, a little, especially the fact that I held the title, that Centurion held this title, that Vinny, when I first came on the scene, Vinny was holding this title. This is like one of the, if not, again, I can't understate how important this championship is to the XWF. Just seeing the efforts from those who have put in an effort so far is really impressive. I'm kind of disappointed one of the guys hasn't made the soft deadline, but let's see if he can turn something out. Maybe make a little magic happen. Who knows? Yeah, I know I've been opinionating on a lot of my predictions so far. I'm going to hold off until the end of the show because some of my opinions might even change. You guys might switch. So I do look forward to this one. Again, the championship, I can't understate it enough. It's like you said, this is the flagship title of Warfare, and you got to be a solid representative if you're holding this championship.
You do, and you have to. It's same. I mean, not to discredit TV title because that's the same concept. These belts, those 2 belts alone are defended more than any other championship in the Fed. So if you use the term workhorse, you like to throw that around, then whoever's holding the Hart Championship or the Television Championship, they're your workhorses.
Oh,
You know, GMs have to build their shows around these guys. So whoever, if anyone discredits it, in character, I will do it. So I'm a heel. That's what I fucking do. Out of character, I understand the importance of it, and I understand that whoever's holding that belt is basically your number 1 guy for whichever show you're on. So I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the end result here. I have my prediction. I will save that one to the end as well. But we move right into this is where matches like 7, 8 through the end of the show. Like these guys, we talked about it earlier, and I can't help but touch on it again now. The build of this show and how the matches flow. The only thing that I would have changed is the placement of the Anarchy Championship. Outside of that, it's like it constantly builds and builds and builds. And this is a perfect case in that. You know, we go from the glass cage match, now we're rolling into tables, ladders, and chairs for the tag title, something I happen to know an awful lot about, with Marv and Lakana taking on you two guys, you know, Robbie Bourbon and Thunder Knuckles. And we're going to take on the team of Dr. Lewis DeVille and Corey Smith. At first, I mean, I held the titles for almost 9 months with Robert Main. I know a lot about this division. We went up against some pretty stiff competition. Um, I would be remiss if we didn't point out in character Corey Smith as opposed to Daddy Stu. So I'm kind of interested to see how this plays, because I feel like there's an awful lot in character that both teams have got some serious ammunition to unload if they choose to. And I know that shots have already been fired. This one in my eyes too, and it's not because you guys are on the call or on the podcast. It's another sleeper because Doc is Doc. I mean, guy's fucking legend. It's just anytime you can ride against somebody like that, it's always a feather in your cap. I mean, Corey, engineer, like also, I mean, legend. Uh, you two cats are doing some fucking things, and then we have, you know, the kind of the dark horses, Martha and Lakana. But even them, they're putting their best foot forward. What are your thoughts? I know you guys won't. You're not going to predict this one when we get into predictions, but where are you at with a your opponents, the defending champions, as well as your other challengers? Where are you guys? Where are your heads at with that?
Well, TK told me they can't sniff our shit. Um, no. It's seriousness. TK, you got anything to say? Because really all I got to say is, just working with these guys, like everybody involved, everybody's leaving it all out there. They're not holding anything back. We're all going out there and we're all just putting it all on the line. It's always a pleasure to work with Louie. Doc is, a great guy, great guy. He always has some insight. Like if you can pick his brain about anything, you know, that little in character, is you can always see the doctor. His door's always open. That's out of character too. And Corey, same story. Like I've been working with Corey since he first came into the Fed. Phenomenal storyteller. Like his storytelling and his story weaving is it's up there. I can't say he's best, but he's easy top 5 that I've ever seen in the Fed. And working with them is wonderful. And all credit to Marvin like Hannah. They're newer, but again, they're leaving it all out there. They're coming forward and they're coming to compete. And
they're making a name for themselves. Like
yeah,
this is like from what I see in character and out of character. Like this is an opportunity for both of those two to put their names on the map.
That's absolutely
yeah.
correct.
I
They're doing
mean,
it as far as I'm concerned. They are
yes,
definitely doing that. Like they've come to the table and they didn't come to the kids' table. They came to the table ready to eat and they want their fair share. And come the card, we're gonna find out who gets that big piece of chicken. Pardon the metaphor, but I guess I went in character there because food. But
yeah.
yeah, again, I'm really excited. I'm very proud to be a part of this match. I'm proud to be working with these guys. I think that in terms of it being a sleeper match, I always try to shoot steal a show. Am I doing that right now? Time will tell. Are all of us doing that? I would say, yeah, all 6 of us are doing their damnedest to do that. And again, more power to everybody involved. And I look forward to seeing, how this all plays out, how it all pans out. And moving forward, me and TK will be tagging up a lot more in the future. So
I do have to say this, and I mean this with all respect to all 6 involved. But reality is this: you're just placeholders until Robert comes back.
Ouch.
And I'll leave it at that.
Ouch.
Where DK, like, I
Shots
mean,
fired on the podcast.
on the podcast, calling it now. You're just all your placeholders till Rob's back. Cataclysm, we'll get back in the mix. We'll take back what belongs to us, and then we're gonna. If it isn't with Doc and Thad, we're gonna come after whoever, and then we're gonna go back after Doc and Thad. That's how that's gonna play. I'm just spoiler. There you go. Paul Heyman, where are you at, motherfucker?
Man. Like, honestly, again, Rob, I hope he comes back as soon as possible. Terrific writer. Man, my lips taste like his butt right now. But
He's there's some things that are going on. He knows that you guys are asking about him. He knows that at least with the people who come to me, I talk to him frequently. That's no secret. He knows that you guys are thinking about him, and that's what means the world to him right now with what he's going through and some things that he's having to deal with. He just needs the support of those that are around him. Just boost him up, and he'll get back in the mix. And in all seriousness, this getting back into this tag title match, like coming off of 8 months with those belts, and then seeing, like, to me, this is a marquee match. To me, this is like it's a the tag title division was always something that was kind of lacking. I think that that's no big secret, and I think that uh, what Cataclysm did with the belts, we told a lot of stories. We kind of built them up a little bit. Now Doc and Thad take the titles off of us. The story is continuing, and the division is continuing, and that's what we need to see. We need to see more people come together, and whether. And the cool thing about Doc and Corey, and even you loop Thad into this mix, and you guys as well, like, you're storytellers. Like, you're okay. We'll work an angle. Let's work it out to where it's beneficial to everybody involved. That's where you start seeing, boom, the division's gonna blow up. Boom, you got people lined up because you're telling good stories. That's what certain divisions, to my opinion, certain divisions are missing. This one is not missing it because all 6 of you, in my eyes, have already brought your shit, and it's just going to be a matter of who can finish stronger.
Everybody's definitely bringing their game.
Yeah, and it's like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, man. Who's going to punch themselves out first? That's kind of where it's at. I think that this one, I have a prediction. It's going to be a bold one when we get that far, but all 6 of you deserve a standing ovation based off of what's already been posted, and probably with what's going to be posted after we've recorded this podcast. As the guy that was carrying the belts for a while, like, that makes me happy. It makes me happy that the stories are continuing. At least the work that Rob and I put in or tried to put in didn't fall off. That's good to see.
Well, I'm glad we can carry on. Again, I gotta give you guys credit. Cataclysm did bring the tag titles back into prominence, and that's great.
It was kind of like making the belts mean something. So eventually, when that title change happened, which happened at high stakes, it made it more impactful, I felt. And to see again that there are 6 quality people biting for those 2 titles, 3 teams. Only one of you are going to survive and leave with the tag titles. The good news, on a booking side, from what I see, with it being a TLC match, there's already avenues for individual rematches. So with Marth and Lacana, or is it Lacana or is it Lycana? Am I mispronouncing?
I don't know. Lycana, I would think. Like Lycan?
Gotcha. With them being a fresh team, this is a great opportunity for them to lay groundwork. With Bobby Bourbon and Thunder Knuckles, this is the first time you guys have teamed up, and it's like you're going seamlessly. And then you roll into Doc and Corey. It's the first time that they've teamed up to defend the tag titles, to the best of my knowledge. I don't think they've done it before. So it's almost like you got three sets of teams at first. It's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. I think that you guys are going to tear the fucking roof. If there was a rooftop to be brawled on at Lambeau Field, you would tear it off.
Well, one of the spots is I'm actually going to build a roof for us to tear it off. So
Well, there you go. Okay, I'm sold. I'm all about it. Hey, let's make sure we do that for match 2, okay?
all right.
All right. Match 10, semi-main event. Number 2 guy, number 2 title in the Fed. Extreme titles on the line. A very, very dangerous challenger in Alias taking on Reggie Estrada. Guys, can we talk about Alias's ascension to this level so quick? Coming in at high stakes, putting out, a solid fucking performance in that battle royal, and rolling into his second pay-per-view, challenging for the second top title in the Fed. I mean, you can't say that the XWF doesn't give opportunity. That's
Yep.
bottom line right there. Look at what happens when you show up and you work and you put your stuff up and you put your work in. Like you get rewarded the opportunity to get in here with Reggie Estrada, challenge for the extreme title. Again, something I would be remiss if I didn't point out the fact that Reggie picked this up going into high stakes, shockingly. He came in. He defended against what Dick Powers. Successfully retained it. This would be his second booked title defense, and he's rolling in against a red hot Alias. Where are your thoughts at? We know it's going to be battled under Extreme rules, Warfare rules, so all bets are off. Where are you guys at? What do you see happening here between these two guys? Literally, they're going to be knocking it out to be the number 2 man in the company.
I think that Reggie is. I got to give credit to Reggie. He has held on to that title. You know, he got it right before high stakes. He defended against Dick Powers, which he has a punny name, and that's cool. But this is his first real challenge on a book card, defending that championship, and whether or not he can step up to Alias, and Alias has been absolutely phenomenal. If you just read Alias's work, Alias is so three-dimensional. Like in this Fed, like everything they write, and everything that they talk about, and all their talking points are just they revolve around the Fed. Like it's just the Alias is one of the most relevant characters in the XWF. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it 100% does. And I'm going to piggyback, and I'm going to do some homework. So before we record our next podcast, I want to know, is this way back in the day, and I'm talking my second stint in the XWF was probably 3 or 4 months. Could have been a little bit longer than that. And we're going back to like 2007, 2008. There was a character named Alias. And I want to know if it's the same person. Because if it is, then I kind of have a feeling that we're in for a treat. I will do my homework and find out. Where are you? What do you think, TK? Where are you at?
I think this is going to be a good match. Reggie held on to that title. He is kicked out.
He did. Yes, he has.
He has kicked out. Yep. He has been defending that thing every day. That's something I wouldn't want to do.
I mean, you remember? Fuck, you guys trolled Rob like it was nobody's business for like 3 weeks.
That's a job fit for a very dedicated person. Not for me.
You guys make sure of it. And you can always tell like who's on the shit list when you're Extreme Champion.
Yep.
Because if you're on the shit list, everybody hits you. It's like within minutes of a kick out, you're pinned again. I think going back to this match, I really think that Reggie's gonna have to go balls to the wall. I'll get into the predictions. I think this match can be a lot of fun. Same concept as we were talking about, we touched on several times. Is the not only is the match itself an attraction, what can be done with it. Now here's where I think this one's going to have a tougher road to follow, because by now we've already seen so much. So what can be done here that can be different? It's the Extreme title, so we know it's going to be nasty. It's going to be violent. Well, so is several matches before this. It's going to have to stand out in its own way. That's my opinion on it, and I think that it can, but it's all going to be contingent on how much violence are we already going to be privy to before we get to this point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who's writing this match, but what I would do if I was writing this match is I would definitely have to think outside the box and try to come up with a way that makes this extreme. We're in an outdoor venue in the frozen tundra in the middle of winter. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah. No shit. Thanks, Theo, for making us perform in 12 degrees.
Well, it's
Appreciate
snow
that.
job, so come
Yeah.
on.
I mean, and from there, man, I mean, all roads lead to the main event. It's the Universal Championship. Chronic Chris Page is challenging Thaddeus Duke. I'll defer to you guys before I give my thoughts on it, and you tell me what you guys think.
Well, I'm excited to read it. You guys are putting it out there. It's good. You guys are established. You guys definitely know how to weave a story and how to role play. Um, just keep coming out swinging. We only have a couple more days left on the RP boards. You know, leave it all out there. Leave it all out there for us to read. And then I think that the match itself, once it comes out, it's gonna have that big match feel. I have no doubt in my mind about that. And the cool thing is after all of the crazy stipulations that have happened, this one being standard, and then falling back on more traditional pro wrestling, action. I think that the story that could be told in this match, it could be really intriguing. I think that it can be like the wrestling fans match. If you like if you're a fan of good classic, maybe mat wrestling, technical wrestling, stuff like that, whoever's writing it can definitely go so many different ways with that. Because neither character is really known as they can get their hands dirty, but they're also technical masters. TK?
All right. Well, this isn't just a big one. It's the big one, right?
Yeah.
This is a fucking culmination of 3-4 months, Paige?
6.
6 months. This is a 6-month story going on right in front of your eyes. This is big deal. Both guys are really giving it their best, and when we get to predictions, I'll think of something.
I'm just gonna say this, and I mean, I can't really touch on all this without kind of starting at the beginning, if that makes sense, because this wouldn't even be happening if Thunder Knuckles didn't lose the television championship to Thaddeus Duke. So yeah, in character, TK, thank you. At the time, I had possession of that belt and refused to give it up. So by happy stance or pass cross, right? Well, we never intended on working a 6-month program. It just
Right.
it's kind of into that, and it's evolved into that organically, which is what's kind of made this story really good to me personally, and it stands out as one of my top stories that I've done in a very very long time. There's a handful that I can pick out from 10 years ago. 10 years from now, this will be one that I'm picking out. because of how integral Thad and I went with this. Um, this is not something that I can say I did myself. I did not. We collabed this entire thing as we were going. We had it in once we realized that you know what, there's some legs to this. Let's see where it takes us, and let's see what happens. An original plan, and obviously plans change, right? But we adapted to the changes and still managed to tell a really good story that spanned, three title divisions now:
Yep.
TV title, tag titles, and now the uni title. Was all that a part of the plan? No, it wasn't. Was me challenging him right now part of the plan? No, it wasn't. Rob was next in line, and uh, with his things that he's having to take care of, like it left a void. And what better way to fill that void than with something that's already ready made? We had originally planned on doing Snow Job, but when he won the title, we had to nix it. I fully intended on stepping back. Rob wanted his shot, let him take it. And behind the scenes stuff and out of character stuff happened, and it left that void, and it was easy. It was an easy fix for me to slide right on in there, and we're right back where we were. Um, that is a tremendous guy, first and foremost, and super easy to work with. I'm really looking forward to finishing out what I've started. Um, I want to thank him for working with me, and being so easy to work with, and I know that you guys will enjoy the finished product. Spoiler alert: he and I are working on that match together. So again, a complete collaboration. If you liked our Relentless match, we collabed that one. We wrote it together. Um, he had input in on the ladder match that we did at High Stakes. Collabed. So I say all that to say to those listening, if you want to tell a good story, find someone that's like minded, and you can put out some really good shit. Case in point, your main event for Snow Job. It's going to culminate. It's going to finish. There will be a definitive winner, and that's the other thing that this feud hasn't had. Neither one of us have taken a loss to the other. A pinfall, a definitive pinfall or submission, hadn't happened. He got a DQ. I won my TV title in a ladder match. He won the tag titles in a ladder match. So you get that definitive closing chapter at the first pay per view of the year to set up the next series, the next cycle. I lose, I'm out. I'm done. You won't see my name in the Universal title picture again. I'll make that statement here and now. I feel like 3 opportunities is enough. If I can't do it now, then it just ain't meant to be. Uh, if I do get the job done, it'll be the crowning achievement for me personally, out of character. It's the only championship that I have never won that I have challenged for.
Chris, I just want to step in right there, man. I had no idea that you guys were working together like that for the past 6 months, and just kudos. Like, the fact that this gets to be that, culmination, like the end of the story, is just so epic. It gives a lot more scope to the match. And
It does.
I don't know. I'm not gonna make my prediction quite yet, but
Well, we're almost at the end of the show now.
This is gonna be awesome. Yeah.
It's there's a lot that has went behind this match that a lot of people probably, I mean, unless you talk to either one of us, you won't know. You really won't. And for it to ran as long as it's ran was amazing. I'll be the first one to tell you, I pitched a fit because I wanted to be thrown out by Thad and have him win his title by eliminating me. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be when spoiler, I wrote the fucking battle royal at High Stakes. So when I got the result, I was like, "Yo, can I not go out last and let him fucking let that be the exclamation point?" Because again, back of my mind, Rob's in line. He's challenging, right? So we've already talked about it. He and I have already discussed it. I already know how this is going to play. So let him throw me out and let him that be the stamp on the rivalry, and we end it right there. Like let that be it. And I'm glad we didn't do that. And it was talked about, but it never we didn't go that route. Had we went that route, somebody else would be in this position right now.
Gotcha.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that it's happening, and I'm happy that it's against Thad. Of all people, it's against Thad. I respect the hell out of that guy out of character. I will never say it in character. I will never tell him I already have in character on the Savage. So I do respect him in character as well. Uh, Out of character though, the dude's fucking aces, man. He's an absolute treat to work with, and I'm telling you, this was 50-50 the entire way. I would throw out an idea, he would enhance it. He would throw me out something, I would enhance it. And then we came to this ultimate culmination together. And by happy stance, here we are. That's why this is gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. Um, we're gonna go ahead and we'll start back at the top. Let's run down some predictions, and then we just got a couple of questions from some guys and gals in the Fed that want to get a couple of answers, and we'll knock this out and tie a bow on episode 1, guys. Does that sound
Cool.
good?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, match 1, man. We're back at it again. It's the state, the Blitz Football Massacre. Team 1, Finn, Griff, Jim, Morbid Angel, Ash, Mandy. They're taking on Claude, Savannah, Azrael, uh, Miss Themis, and Broken Oswald, as well as Tommy Gunn. I'll start this one with you, Mr. Bourbon. I think I kind of know where you're going, but bottom line, who do you see? Who do you see winning the match? And let's try and parlay it. Let's make a game out of it. Who's getting the win for their team?
In all honesty, as much as a fan that I am of Jim, and again, as great as it is to see Morbid back, I'm gonna go with the second team, and I'm gonna go with Themis actually getting the pinfall. She's been a hot hand. She's got a lot of momentum going in, and for her to be in the opening match and not in any of the later title matches, you know, that's I can see her later on in the card. You know what I mean? I can see other people too, but I'm gonna have to go with the second team on this one.
Okay. Well, now you shocked me. Actually, I really thought you were going to lean with Team 1 and probably go with Morbid for the win. So no, that's already off the gun. You're fucking out the gate rather. You're throwing me for a loop. All right, TK, man. Who you got? Who you got, and who do you think's going to get the win?
See, you know what? I'm gonna take. I gotta take Osara. I gotta, and she's getting the pin. She's the one getting the pin for that team.
So I actually thought you both were going to go with Team 1, but you both went with Team 2. I refuse to allow it to be a clean sweep. Themis was my pick initially. I will actually defer to Team 1, and I will say that I wouldn't be surprised if Morbin was to pick it up for Team 1. If he did not, then Ash would pick it up for Team 1. It's probably not a winning pick, or a winning team pick. But we can't go. All three of us can't go one way. That's not okay. We got to mix it up.
That's fair. That's fair. I think it really though, like brass tacks, this is going to come down to who has the fewest no shows, and
Yeah,
I think Team 2 is going to have fewer no shows.
You're correct. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. That's definitely going to be a deterring point for sure. Match 2, we're back on the rooftop with Centurion and the Holy Roman Warhorse. I'm going to go out on them and say that Centurion's going to pick this one up.
I'm going to have to go with Centurion as well. I'm not really familiar with Warhorse's work, and I haven't seen any of the work yet.
Yep, I'm going to go with Centurion. You got to. I'm sorry.
Yep, clean sweep.
That's a clean sweep.
Yep. I can say that I can agree with that. No problem on that one. Then we're rolling to Big D defending the world title against John Black and Tommy Wish. TK, where you at?
I think the Thugs together. That's the Thugs, right? Yeah, that's totally the Thugs versus Big D. That's not a triple threat. That's not a triple threat, and I think that's going to cause some dissension. So, Big D retains.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to go with Big D retaining. This is his storyline, you know, and he's rolling with it. And yeah, Big D.
You know, I want to say Big D, but I don't want to go back to back matches where we've all selected the same guy. I'm gonna say that you know, if this is the Thugs team, then we've got some teamwork happening, and I'm gonna say Tommy Wish leaves with the new XWF world title, world champion. Tommy Wish for the win. Internet Championship, Miss Fury defending against Bobby London. Where are we at, Mr. Bourbon?
I'm gonna go out on not going on a limb. Miss Fury's gonna retain. I love Bobby London, but yeah, Fury's retaining.
TK?
I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Bobby. I'm going to go with Bobby London walks away with that championship.
Instead, I'm going to err on the side of him and say that Miss Fury retained. Not not of a lack of effort, but because Miss Fury's fucking Miss Fury and she's a beast. And I know something about it. One of my personal picks for show stealer, as far as the championship matches are concerned on the undercard, Kenzie, Miss Fury, Ruby, Chula, excuse me, Anarchy Championships on the line. I it, I can see a case being made for all four, and because we got to predict, man, we got to take one. I'm taking Kenzie Gray to regain the Anarchy Championship at Snow Job. Final answer. You at TK?
I have. Well, there's really only one body of work out there right now, and I'm going to take that one body. I'm going to pick Miss Fury.
Miss Bourbon.
I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'm taking Ruby in this one. I guess none of us are calling Tula to retain. So, you know, if all of a sudden she does, then more power to her, but I'm picking Ruby.
Yeah, if Tula retains, she has the right to rub it in our face, and I will keep her if she does. I think at the end of the day, we're predicting here collectively. We're predicting a champion. The Shooting Star Championship, standard triple threat. Jerry defending against Betsy, defending against J Miss. Mr. Bourbon, you're up. Who you got?
It's tight. It's very tight. But I'm gonna have to go with Mist on this one. When Mist gets a focus on something, and they want something hard enough, and like just they want it more, then they go out and get it. So I'm definitely gonna have to pick Mist on this one, new champion.
TK?
I'm going with Betsy Granger. Just
I
gotta go with Betsy. Gotta go with
I
Betsy.
I hear you on that, and I'm going to echo that sentiment. And it's not over a lack of effort from champion and challenger. Just that the out of character. That's my wife. I got to go with her. You know, I think that at the end of the day, with these last two matches, the true winners are the fans. Be cliche. It's the fans.
Absolutely.
TK, you're up on this next prediction first, brother. Barney Green, Charlie Nichols. Here we go. TV title. Start to get into that upper card again. Where are you at? Who you got? Who you got? Who you got winning this?
I got Charlie Nichols retaining. That's going to be an unpopular pick. I know. It's going to be an unpopular pick.
He fucking Thunder Knuckles makes it 1 week on the podcast and he's fired. All right. So you got Nichols to retain. All right, where are you at? And I can see that. Nichols this is the battle of the hardcore icons essentially. So Bourbon, who you got?
Do I have to pick?
Yeah, we need a pick. Who you got?
All right. I am saying, you know what? Because of the 15-minute time limit, I can see Nichols retaining but not pinning Barney. It just goes to the time limit.
All right, so I will go against the grain. Barney Green, new television champion, Big Daddy of Violence, Big Barn. Get that gold, baby. Go get that gold.
I hope I'm wrong.
Well, time's gonna tell that, my man. Like they're throwing down for sure.
Okay.
This one's coming to you first, Bob. This is your baby. It's our title. You got Ned Kane defending against Sean, defending against Felix, defending against Edgar. Who you got?
Ned's got the hot hand. That's true. I love me some Sean Wild. It's great to see R.L. Edgar back, but yeah, I have to pick Ned to retain. He's got that hot hand. He's been retaining this hard championship, and maybe he's developing into somebody that is one of those top tier hard champions. And I'm excited to see what he does with it next.
All right, TK.
I honestly think R.L. Edgar is going to walk out of this thing the winner. I do. He's been a sleeper. He's come to play. He's come to play.
Yeah. I think that this, again, when we're talking about previewing the match itself, I think any of these guys build a Wednesday night around. Wednesday night. Sorry, you can build a Wednesday night around, no problem. In this particular situation, I think that Ned is going to drop this belt. I think that he retained. I think that it comes down to, if I had to give like an elimination order, like I couldn't even pick. I know it would come down. I don't even want to go that far because I'd be totally off base and wrong. I think Ned retains here. Very evenly matched and I think it's going to be a very tight. I would not want to be the judges on any of these upper card title matches. Which now we go into tag title match. You're both predominantly involved in this. I know we won't predict our own matches. Any parting shots to your other challengers and your champions?
Good luck. It's been a blast working with y'all. I hope you don't win. No.
Good luck, man, but I hope you don't fucking win.
I hope you look great, but not that great. But I don't know. Like, again, we're biased. I feel that me and TK are very biased as to who we are picking for this match because we've been working on it. So, Chris, it's on you, man. What's your call?
It's definitely a tough spot to be in. I can see arguments made for all three. I really think that this prediction, let me preface it because it's not personal. I'm going to make this prediction under the preface of I see more collectively being done with the tag titles with this set than I do versus anyone else. I think that Thunder Knuckles and that Bobby Bourbon are going to leave as the tag team champions.
Good job. That's exactly hearing on the podcast.
I think that, and I say that because I think there's so much more out there for Doc, and there's so much more out there for Corey, and there's so much more out there for them to like sink their teeth into. They don't really need this situation right now. not saying that anyone involved in it needs it more than the other, but it's one of those situations where you can get more out of the division putting the belts on Thunder Knuckles and Bobby at this point. I could be wrong, and if I am, that's fine.
Match 11, or no, match 10, extreme title match. We're looking at this match right now, and you got Alias versus Reggie Estrada. Reggie has done a great job. He's been a stalwart for the Extreme Championship. He's been defending it in and out. He's been carrying it with pride. You know, he definitely wants to hold on to this championship. But Alias has just been unreal in the past month, and I gotta pick Alias.
I'm right there with you. I think we got a new champion. I think Alias is a danger to the Union title division right now if he wants to be. I think that there's a handful out there that got the goods, and he's definitely one of them. We're gonna have a new extreme champion. There's no disrespect to Reggie. He did a great job. Came in and got the belt and did what he did, but I think Alias carries it. He takes it.
Yep, I got this as a sweep then, because for the same reasons. That's all.
New champion. It's gonna be Alias. So
Alias, he's on fire. He's just on fire.
And you roll right into to the main event. I mean, this is what brought everybody to the dance, and what packed the house and got everybody a paycheck. You got Thad defending the Universal Championship against me, Chris Page. So I won't predict. I will just say I'll say this, that again it's been nothing but an absolute treat to work with that and plan this angle out and to see it executed to the end. Like however this goes, win or lose, I will not be upset or disappointed. It's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah. To go off a prediction, it's tight. It's a close one. Again, it's the culmination of a long story between y'all. I will say, if you win, the story probably isn't over. And I'd hate to see that the story is over, even if you don't win. On that note, you're playing your heart out. Thad's playing his heart out. I kind of have to go with Thad right now. He's coming in with that heat. You know, he's got telemetry. You know, he's moving onward and upward. He's doing things with the title. It's a close one. It's a tight one, but I'm going to go with Thad Duke on this one. Just because, you know, the only reason I say that is because I see more ready-made challengers for Thad Duke right now. Whereas Chris Page, ready-made challengers, here and there.
And Bobby Bourbon made it 1 week on the podcast before he got fired.
Well, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not going to be a clean sweep here today. Not today. I'm taking Chris Page, and that's why we watch the fucking shows, boys.
No. I could have flipped a coin. I didn't.
No, we're gonna deliver something rock solid. The final product is gonna be well worth it. I know I will never speak for him again, but I probably will speak for him now. I know that he is just as equally satisfied with the overall product that we put out, just as I am. So it will be great. We definitely got some stuff in store. So before we cut out and call it an episode, I did put a question thread out. I did get one question through that, and I got a one question or a couple questions through Discord. We'll cruise through those real quick. The first one, this is from RL, and it's a good question because it's podcast related. I answered it as best I could in character, but we'll go ahead and cover it here on the OC board. But we'll go ahead and cover it here too. This question basically is this going to be recorded on a website, or do we have to get on Discord to listen, or what have you? The platform is we're obviously recording on Discord. There are a handful that have the information and the to get into the chat to listen to us as we're actually doing this. We will keep that minimum. We don't want to put that in a group forum because people will be people and they won't mute their microphones and they'll try and step on you and they'll try and interject themselves when they don't need to. So that being said, TK, I think our plan is to record on Discord and then release on YouTube or some other platform via some sort of link. Correct?
Correct. So far, I mean, we could go live later, but we'd have to, learn how to do it. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how to do that?
Fuck no.
All right.
So ultimately, we'll get there. If we get if we keep doing this, and you guys listen and you like what you hear, and no one gets butt hurt over comments because that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about something that we find fun, and that's something that we all have in common is e-petting. We like to sit down and write our stories. And that's kind of like we're not going to be in a critique role. We're not here to tell you your role plays suck or your role plays are great. We want to have fun with this, and we'll do it as long as we're having fun. I think that's a general consensus, right, guys?
Yeah.
The next question.
Yeah, I agree.
The next question. Let me pull it up. That's on Discord. Let me grab it real quick. Are you in favor of consolidating the 24/7 titles into one? Bob, what do you think?
No, absolutely not. And the reason for that is because the heavy metalweight and the featherweight championships, those are those are they're not top tier championships. They're not defended on shows or on cards, but they are fun diversions. Like if you're bored and you want to go on the site and just go over and challenge for the featherweight, challenge for the heavy metalweight, you can do so. The heavy metalweight is I would never challenge for it. I've never challenged for it. The featherweight, I have had an absolute blast going after it. I don't know if it's on the board still, but one of the funnest things I've ever done in the Fed was me and North Korean War Criminal just having a back and forth on the board. It's a smack talk session, but with consequences, and it was a lot of fun. And to roll those into the Extreme Championship, which has bearing on the storylines regarding the Universal title, and it's the number 2 title in the Fed. That's really just eliminating some opportunities to have some fun in the Fed. I think I'm echoing the statement again. I've been saying it this entire episode. The XWF has a little bit of something for anybody, and the featherweight and the heavy metalweight. Those definitely encompass that whole idea that there's something for everybody. We got to keep them around, because it's really not much work to moderate them, and it's a lot of fun if you want to just jump in there and just do something, just to blow off some steam or kill some time.
So the second piece of that, before we hop over to TK and get his perspective, the second piece is all right. So we know that you're against it. Obviously, you have your reasons for it. They're noted and they're actually really good for the smartest man in the world. So in the event of if they would consolidate them, would you rather see a new belt or would you rather the Extreme title keep that spot? If that was the direction.
Well, for starters, yes. That my entire last answer was my thesis at Harvard. But the second part, if we did roll all 3 into one, calling it a new entity, and maybe would it have new rules? I don't know. I would assume so, maybe. Um, the 24/7 belt or a 24/7 case that you get for holding on to the Extreme Championship has been such a huge facet of the XWF for such a long time, ever since I've been here. To see it go away and get eliminated, that would cause some changes. There's a majority of title changes that I've seen in the XWF have come through that case. So seeing that go away, that would have ramifications, both good and bad. That said, I'm cool with the status quo as is right now. If it changes, I'm not gonna piss and moan about it. But I would look forward to new things happening and maybe a new name for the championship, maybe a new design for the belt, whatever. You know, I'm I don't want to see the featherweight or the heavy metalweight.
Well, give me part one now.
Are you up for consolidating the three 24/7 titles into one?
Maybe not all three. Without the featherweight title, TK wouldn't have a career.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
So,
You would be up for consolidating the heavy metalweight and the extreme title.
yeah, and make it some fashion. Maybe change the time limits or something on the already existing extreme.
Okay.
I don't know how we would do it. That's for much smarter people than I.
I'm kind of right there with you, dude. Like, I think you, the conversation can be made and the arguments can be made in either direction. I first off air, like I made no bones about it. I think that there are too many titles in the Fed. But now that we got through this card and you hear, Robbie's deal is, there's something for everybody. And from that perspective, like it makes you rethink some things, right?
Right.
So it made me rethink, like, all right, if we do take this out, are we going to run the risk of, losing some cats that, that's their primary focus for being here, right? Like we run that risk.
That is true, but on the other note, fair notion. I can't the primary focus, but it's definitely something that it's a fun diversion. It's like getting rid of those is like getting rid of the place in McDonald's.
Right.
You're still gonna have the main menu. You can still go in there and get your Big Mac, your Coke, your large fry. It's just you're not gonna play on the slide later. And having that slide there is just an added attraction. Is it gonna make or break you? Maybe not, but I'd hate to see it go.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I feel that way.
yeah, I'm right there. I think ultimately, like, that perception just changed my whole thought process on the entire deal. So to answer part of the question for me, no, I don't think that would probably be the best option because there are people who do like to go down that avenue. If that's not your thing, then don't do it. Let it be for those who that's what they want to do. I'm okay with it. It's fine. So we did it. I mean, guys, we made it through the first show. I think started out a little rocky, but I think we recovered nicely. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I had a blast doing it. I think that post production will be able to tell what the finished product sounds like. But I enjoyed myself. I had a great time talking with y'all. I had a great time talking about the Fed, and hopefully I didn't sound like too much of a douchebag. Just enough of a douchebag. I'm good with that.
What about you?
Well, I had a blast doing this, honestly. And thank everyone who may or may not be listening. Just thanks. Thanks for all your work and shit. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, number one's in the bag, man. Number two, we'll be doing the next show that we're going to cover. We're going to cover the Snow Job Fallout. We're looking to have Theo and Vinny, live on the show with us. We'll fill out a questionnaire to, field your questions, shoot them our way. We'll get them in the mix, and for the first episode, guys, I think we did all right. So there we go, guys. Y'all have a good night, and stay tuned for round two. That's all I can tell you.
Definitely. Pleasure working with you, gentlemen. Y'all have a good one.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Later.
See you guys.